Hey Beans! So Animal Jam has been doing a lot of really good things for the game recently. There have been tons of new pets and items and awesome things that have been added to the game. And now, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but sometimes when they add so many things at once and try so hard to make the game so good, they forget little things. And a lot of the time, it's just a funny little thing that ends up in a glitch video. But sometimes, it's a serious problem that ends up with kids getting ripped off, or people being hacked or scammed, or serious problems with the game and how it works. And this is one of those. I talked about the Golden Bunny scam recently, but this may be even worse than the Golden Bunny scam. Because unless you absolutely know what the trick is, you're gonna fall for it because it's such a silly little glitch that is happening. The difference is with the Golden Bunny scam, the Golden Bunny that was fake did not look like the real Golden Bunny. And if you were paying attention, you could probably realize that, or if you did any amount of research. But with this glitch, well, you basically get scammed unless you've seen this video or something like it. Because Animal Jam just released these Jamal sweaters, and they come in plenty of different colors, but there's no magenta color. And magenta items are famous for being unreleased because sometimes when people email AGHQ and say they got hacked or scanned for items, Animal Jam will send them back their items. And sometimes when that happens, there's this little glitch where the items return to their default setting of color and become magenta, and then don't change back when the person opens them. So they have these weird magenta items that aren't supposed to exist, that are like 1 or 2 or 3 of a kind, and are very, very rare. So nowadays, when people see these magenta items, they immediately assume that they're rare, even though there are some things like the night suit that technically come in magenta colors in store. And so what's happening is, Animal Jam didn't technically release a magenta Jamal sweater. Like, there's no magenta Jamal sweater that you can buy. But there is a pink Jamal sweater. And you can buy that Jamal sweater even now as I'm recording this video. This will be up in a few days, so it may not still be buyable, hopefully, because that would stop the scam. But basically, the pink sweater is a great item. It looks really cool on most animals. But when you put it on a bunny, it becomes magenta. And this may seem like, oh, so you can trick people into thinking you have a magenta item. Big deal. But there's another problem. In your inventory, it shows up as magenta. That kind of like red color that we call magenta. You know what I mean? That's associated with being unreleased and rare. And the bigger problem is when you put it on your trade list, it shows up as magenta. So if you were a bunny and you wear this pink sweater and then put it on your trade list, it looks like you have this unreleased magenta sweater. And people who are well educated about Animal Jam, who know these scams, will go and check the shop. And they'll be like, oh, Jamart clothing? Oh, look, there's no magenta Jamal sweater. They're like, look it up, they see nothing online. They're like, oh, it must be unreleased. The thing is, it's not unreleased. It's just Animal Jam didn't actually add the pink color when you put it in your inventory. So people who are doing everything that they should to not be ripped off or scammed are getting ripped off and scammed. And it's a big enough problem when people are getting ripped off because they're not paying attention. But when people are at fault because Animal Jam made a mistake in adding an item, that is a big issue. And that is why I'm bringing this up in a video. This really needs to be addressed, especially by Animal Jam. We can't have magenta items that aren't actually magenta, because this is like a 1 in a million situation. The fact that it shows up in your trade list as magenta and on your animal as magenta and is not in the shop as magenta, like, I never could have envisioned that happening. That is ridiculous. But there are ways to stop it, and that's pretty much what this video is about. It's about the auction house. And the auction house is such a big idea that I'm sure you've all heard of it, but I've made like 4 videos on it, and I can still make videos on it because there are so many amazing aspects of it. In other videos, I talk about how it could promote trading and like create communities and friendships and make people play Animal Jam more. But this video is going to be about how the auction house could stop scams like these. Basically, what the auction house does to stop scams like this magenta scam or the Golden Bunny scam is you can look up these items before you go and trade for them. And this would be even more helpful if you had like a little button instead of having to go somewhere. Like, we've theorized that there will be an auction house in either like Jamal Central or like in the Lost Temple of Zeos at that monkey little window thing, or in Kimbara Outback because it's a less popular land. But if there was actually a little button that you could use to look up any item and see what people were offering for it. But what's even bigger than that is you wouldn't get ripped off or cheated, or you wouldn't have to overtrade for something without realizing, because you can see exactly what other people are trading for things, and you can know, what an item is actually worth without having to be an expert at the game or having to do all your research, like look up everything on Animal Jam Wiki and read all the comment sections and things like that. And we can actually have a set value for everything on Animal Jam. You want to trade for a Golden Bunny, and you think, what's a Golden Bunny really worth? So you look up the Golden Bunny, and what shows up is like half real Golden Bunnies and half fake Golden Bunnies, and you're like, wait a second, these are fake Golden Bunnies. You're scamming me. But without the auction house, you can't check it with like the entire player base of Animal Jam and see these things. This also inherently eliminates a lot of scamming, because every once in a while there are glitches that get through that basically provide for scamming. There's this one famous glitch that was a big deal like a year or 2 ago, where you could trade one item for something and it would show up as 4 on the other person's trade, and then they would accept it and only get 1 of those items that looked like it was 4. So let's say you had a black spike and someone was trading you an orange spike for it, but it would look like they were trading you 4 orange spikes, and that's a pretty good deal, so you might accept. But then you do the trade and you realize, shoot, I got an orange spike. And that's basically you getting ripped off. But if there's an auction house, well, not only do people know what things are worth, but things like this 4-for-1 glitch are prevented because this is happening like over a series of days. And you can check these things and these glitches are eliminated. And so you can't be like tricked by a glitch in the heat of the moment. Animal Jam is actually like supervising all the trades. They're seeing what's going on. Like things are actually like not happening in real life. You're having other people see what you're bidding and trading for. Other people can tell you when you're being scammed. And overall, it's just a much more secure environment because scammers can't just kind of like hide in their little dens and like pretend that they're not scamming. Like they actually have to go on a public forum, which is going to be the auction house, and openly say like, I am scamming. It's the same thing with like the Golden Bunny. They can't just like get one person to come to their den and like try and trick them into thinking it's the Golden Bunny. They have to actually put it on a public forum with their username and say, look at me, to everyone who knows the Golden Bunny scam. I'm a scammer. I'm trying to rip people off for this Golden Bunny. I hope no one ever takes that part where I said I'm a scammer and makes a meme out of that and edits that out of context, please. But seriously, this thing would get rid of so much scamming. And also, it would promote Animal Jam's basically economy, or the part that Animal Jam really cares about, which is the money aspect of things. Because this is no fault of Animal Jam's, but they're a company, and everyone who works there has lives and bills and families and things to do and places to go and things that cost money. And they need money, and they would like to make money so they can continue to live their lives and invest some of it back into Animal Jam and make the game better. So when Animal Jam makes money, it's better for everyone. So please don't ever assume that when Animal Jam is asking for your money, that it is a bad thing. I know I make a lot of jokes, but I totally respect what they're doing, and we do live in a capitalist society. But tangent aside, the auction house would be a great way for Animal Jam to make money. All they have to do is just charge like 1 or 2 diamonds per transaction, or maybe if they really want to make money off of this, per bid, especially because now we have this new member daily spin where you can basically get like unlimited items. So not only would people be purchasing membership to try and get diamonds to bid on all these items, well, people would feel like they were getting rewarded for their membership more because like you really feel like you can trade and play the game better when you're a member now. Because right now, there are a lot of really rare non-members. You would be surprised by how many rare non-members there are. I don't think people really realize it, but rare non-members are a huge part of the game. And Animal Jam really is kind of losing out on some money by letting non-members be a huge part of the trading community. And that's amazing on their part, but I know that if they wanted to make some sort of new membership benefit, which I know they're trying to do in 2017 for trading, well, this would be a great way to do it. And this is the real necessity of an actual auction house. There's some other ideas that I put forward that would work for trading, but may not necessarily prevent scamming like an actual public forum for trading would. You see, there are ideas like maybe when you log off, you can still make trades and someone can like leave a trade for you on your jammer wall, or your trade list stays there, and then when you log back on, all the proposed trades are still there. But that doesn't really work if you're not like, you know, Julian 2 or Wisteria Moon or Apari and people are constantly looking you up and like trying to see what's doing your trade list and stuff like that. But with this auction house, well, you can actually look up other people's trades immediately. You don't have to just like guess and check with random usernames to try and find out what things are worth. And that is the huge benefit of this idea, and I'm honestly not sure why it hasn't been added. If there really is a real reason that we can't have this auction house, I would really like it if Animal Jam would come forward and explain why, because I've spent a lot of video time trying to speculate on this. It would be a perfect addition to those kind of like member benefits Animal Jam is trying to add in 2017. I'm sure if they added an auction house, it would be almost definitely members only. Or what might happen is they would charge diamonds, and then if you were a non-member and you didn't have the member daily spin where you could basically get like 6 diamonds every single day, it'd be really hard to make transactions if they charged diamonds for every single bid you made. Plus, if they made it so it costs diamonds to bid, that would prevent a lot of annoying spam and ridiculous things, especially for people like famous jammers who might actually want to trade on their accounts. Because with Animal Jam, it's not like something like eBay, where it's going to be an auction, where obviously $700 is worth more than $600, and $600 is worth more than $500, so you can't bid lower than the person before you. It's not like we can definitively say that one item is rarer than another a lot of the time, and there's definitely not a computer program that can do that. So basically, there's not going to be a way to filter out items that aren't as good as other items, and so the computer won't know if someone is trading you a necklace or a spike, and they'll just put the necklace as an equally rare trade to the spike, and so all the trades that anyone ever makes will show up to you. And for people who have a lot of annoying friends, or who have a lot of fans that like to mess with them, or just want to be noticed by their senpai, well, that can get really annoying because you put up an item and people will put a bunch of joke trades. But if you actually make it cost a little bit of money, maybe not gems because those are very easy to get, but diamonds, then people will stop making joke trades and they'll actually take every single trade that they make seriously, and people won't be like, well, maybe if I make this under trade, he might accept. It will actually encourage people to make real trades that they actually think might be accepted, because if they do those stupid trades that you always get in random places in Jermon Township, then people will not accept. So you won't get like those random trades you get in Coral Canyons of like someone trading their fake golden bunny for your spike, and you're like, are you kidding me? I'm not going to fall for this. So you decline it, but they lose nothing. It did not cost them anything to offer that trade. But my big fear with that is people might just not use the auction house if it actually takes diamonds or gems to make a transaction, because the trading system isn't the best, but it's free. And I'm not sure that people would really go out of their way to spend their diamonds, even though they might have a lot of them, on making a trade that might not even get accepted. But the problem is, you can't make it so that only if they're accepted, then the diamonds go through and they cost you diamonds to make this trade. Because then, again, you have the spam problem, or people are just making really bad trades. Or maybe Animal Jam just ignores it and basically says, you know what, famous jammers, you have what you want. You don't need to be rare. You can be famous. And go ahead. You just don't put anything on the auction house or people will spam you forever. Or maybe it won't be that bad and people will just stop being annoying with it, and we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much everything I have to say about this topic. Again, I really think the auction house would just be a great addition to the game, and every day people are adding new ideas to it, and it would just be so good for Animal Jam in general, and it really needs to be added, especially to stop things like this new magenta sweater glitch. So seriously. Anyways, Beans, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this idea is at least commented on by Animal Jam, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!